Chapter 20. There is something that I believe we might try, James Henry Trotter said slowly. I'm not saying it'll work. Tell us, cried the earthworm. Tell us quick. We'll try anything you say, said the centipede. But hurry, hurry, hurry. Be quiet and let the boy speak, said the ladybug. Go on, James. They all moved a little closer to him. There was a longish pause. Go on, they cried frantically. Go on. And all the time while they were waiting, they could hear the sharks threshing around in the water below them. It was enough to make anyone frantic. Come on, James, said the ladybug, coaxing him. I'm afraid it's no good after all, James murmured, shaking his head. I'm terribly sorry. I forgot. We don't have any string. We need hundreds of yards of string to make this work. What sort of string? Asked the old green grasshopper sharply. Any sort, just so long as it's strong. But my dear boy, that's exactly what we do have. We've got all you want. How? Where? The silkworm, cried the old green grasshopper. Didn't you ever notice the silkworm? She's still downstairs. She never moves. She just lies there sleeping all day long. But we can easily wake her up and make her spin. And what about me, may I ask? Said the spider. I can spin just as well as any silkworm. And what's more, I can spin patterns. Can you make enough between you? Asked James. As much as you want. And quickly? Of course. And it would be strong? The strongest there is. It's as thick as your finger. But why? What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to lift this peach clear out of the water, James announced firmly. You're mad, cried the earthworm. It's our only chance. The boy's crazy. He's joking. Go on, James, the ladybug said gently. How are you going to do it? Skyhooks, I suppose, jeered the centipede. Seagulls, James answered calmly. The place is full of them. Look up there. They all looked up, and they saw a great mass of seagulls wheeling around and round in the sky. I'm going to take a long silk string, James went on, and I'm going to loop it around one end of its seagull's neck, and then I'm going to tie the other end to the stem of the peach. He pointed to the peach's stem, which was standing up like a short, thick mast in the middle of the deck. Then I'm going to get another seagull and do the same thing again, and another and another. Ridiculous, they shouted. Absurd. Poppycock. Balderdash. Madness. The old green grasshopper said, how can a few seagulls lift an enormous thing like this up into the air, and all of us as well? It would take hundreds, thousands. There's no shortage of seagulls, James answered. Look for yourself. We'll probably need 400, 500, 600, maybe even 1,000. I don't know. I shall simply go on hooking them up to the stem until we have enough to lift us. They'll be bound to lift us in the end. It's like balloons. You give someone enough balloons to hold, really enough, then up he goes. Then a seagull has far more lifting power than a balloon. If only we have time to do it. If only we are not sunk first by the awful sharks. You're absolutely off your head, said the earthworm. How on earth do you propose that we get a loop of string around a seagull's neck? I suppose you're going to fly up there yourself and catch it? The boy's dotty, said the centipede. Let him finish, said the ladybug. Go on, James. How would you do it? With bait. Bait? What sort of bait? With a worm, of course. Seagulls love worms. Didn't you know that? And luckily for us, we have here the biggest, the fattest, the pinkest, the juiciest earthworm in the world. You can stop right there, said the earthworm. The earthworm said sharply. That's quite enough. Go on, the other said, beginning to grow interested. Go on. The seagulls have already spotted him, James continued. That's why there's so many of them circling around, that they daren't come down to get him while the rest of us are standing here. So this is what? Stop, cried the earthworm. Stop. I won't have it. I refuse. I. Be quiet, said the centipede. Mind your own business. I like that. My dear earthworm, you're going to be eaten anyway, so what's the difference? What difference does it make whether it's sharks or seagulls? I won't do it. Why don't you hear what the plan is first, said the old green grasshopper. I don't give a hoot about what the plan is, cried the earthworm. I am not going to be pegged to death by a bunch of seagulls. You will be a martyr, said the centipede. I shall respect you for the rest of my life. So will I, said the spider. And your name will be in all the newspapers. Earthworm gives his life to save friends. But he won't have to give his life, said James. James told them, now listen to me. This is what we'll do.